April, Dawn, what I'm hearing is that despite having a trainer and despite playing all the time with your son, when he gets to games, it's not translating. Right, the training isn't helping. He's hesitating. He's not. You're saying he chokes. So what can we do? Well, to be honest, the trainer should get him to a point where he's so relaxed, right? Where the training is so hard, but he's still relaxed. That when it comes to games, that the games are like a joke, right? His training should be so intense off the field that when he comes onto the field, right? They say bleed in. It's like bleed in training, so you sweat in games. Not literally, of course, but the whole point is his trainer should really raise his training intensity so that when it comes to games, it doesn't matter if he's on the field, off the field. He's just ready to go at the drop of a hat. So what can we do? Well, if you're ever in Newport, Rhode Island, or you're in the New England area, I mean, I got some stuff that we could do, but from a distance, what can we do? He chokes, and you have a trainer. Well, you got to get a different trainer, to be honest, because your trainer's not doing a great job. His one job is to get him to a point where he doesn't choke. Right, and if you've been with this guy for more than, for a significant amount of time, and this is still happening, then you got to get a different trainer. And I'm not saying don't work with the said trainer anymore. By testing out other coaches, other skills coaches, any other coaches, what your son and yourself can start to see is, oh, I like the way this coach did his warm up, or I like the way this coach did their technical, ball skills, or I like the way this coach does juggling sequences. So I think what's going to start to happen is your son is going to be able to blend together different. It's going to allow him to start to put together his own personal training routine, right? Because he starts to see, okay, this coach does it this way, but now this coach does it this way. Interesting. And then if you get another coach, and it's like, oh, okay, these two coaches did this kind of similar, but now this coach is doing something completely different, and I like this better. So it's gonna raise his awareness of different training routines. It sounds like you said he's a good player, but it sounds like it's all mental. So okay. Okay, so certain professions have certain tools, right? Bartenders got tools that a bartender uses. A teacher, right? They have a maybe a PowerPoint. They got a chalkboard. They got dry erase board, stuff like that. If you're a soccer player, there are certain tools that can really elevate your training capacity, your training routine. And so here's one in particular. And the reason that this is so powerful, right? This is just a length of rope, and I have it knotted because this rope, for some reason, it's starting to unravel and fray. So that's why it's got knots in it. But this is just a rope that I got from a local hardware store. And what this is referred to is called an RMT rope. An RMT rope. And why this is probably one of the most powerful tools that will help your son raise his confidence and certainty is because as you start to swing it, you get out of your mind and you get into your body, right? It allows you to breathe, develop an awareness of where your body is in time and space, right? So it's like moving meditation. So I would have your son, this is something that if you start to use it yourself, he might take an interest in it. So everything I'm about to suggest, I think you should learn how to do it first, because if you just give your son, if you just buy him whatever tools, or you can buy him tools, but he won't have a mental model. He won't have a framework of how to use it in a joyful way. So that's why you have to start to almost become his training coach slash training partner in disguise. Not in a deceptive way, but more in a way that it's right. It's monkey see, monkey do. So you go to your local hardware store. Let's say your son is 5 feet. I don't know how tall kids are these days. If he's between 5 feet and 6 feet, get a 6-foot rope. If he's between 4 feet and 5 feet, get a 5-foot rope. Right? Because you could always knot it. You could always knot it to make it shorter, but it's harder to extend it. And you want it a little bit. You want it a little bit longer so that you have the option of making knots, and knots change the way that your hand relates to the rope, and it's a very subtle nuance, but it's not trivial. So, long story short, the rope is going to become a tool that helps him. It's going to help him be faster on. It's going to help him be faster on and off the ball. It's going to improve his juggling abilities, right? His ability to pop that knee up. Right, it's basically a version of a jump rope. So if you have a jump rope lying around at home, a jump rope can do stuff that an RMT rope can do in certain ways. You want to search David Weck, WECK RMT rope. This is the pioneer. This is the person who shared the gift of this rope. So this is he's the master at the rope. So you got to check him out. And when you search it, you're going to see a lot of different rope patterns, but you don't need to learn any pattern to feel the benefits. If you can just swing it in a circle like this with one hand, and then you get into a one-legged balance, you could get low, right? You could go high, full range of motion in the shoulders, right? So there's a lot of ways, there's infinite ways that you can just start to have fun, move, breathe, improve your balance, timing, rhythm, and coordination. So this is something that'll completely change, I think, the way that he sees himself. It's going to help him be more relaxed. It's going to help him, just have a better understanding of where his body is. And I think there's two levels. There's the confident players, and then there's players who are certain, right? And what I mean by certain is they don't care if they're in the game, if they're not in the game. They're just getting better every single day. And if the coach wants to put them in, cool. Coach doesn't want to put them in, cool. They're still on the sideline. They're getting, they're juggling the ball. The ball doesn't even hit the ground when they're on the sideline. Another tool that you can invest in is an SKLZ solo kick trainer. And this tool is a ball and a rope. And why it's so powerful is because you can cram months of training into days or weeks. Right? In 60 seconds, you could get 60 touches, which means that in 10 to 15 minutes of playing with this ball, inside the house, outside the house, wherever you are, you could get close to 1,000 touches effortlessly. And what it's going to do is going to help him improve his first touch, and again, timing, rhythm, balance, coordination, all at the same time. And I think it would be better to have a training partner, but this is the next best thing. You don't have to wait for a training partner. It's actually, you get the perfect pass played to you every time. So you're really going to develop your left foot, your right foot, laces, right? So laces, outside the foot, shins, toes, right? Anything. And again, this is something that you can start to use that he might, if he sees you using it, I promise you, I think he'll be interested if he loves playing soccer. Third tool that you can invest in is a size 1 ball. And the reason why size 1 ball is so powerful is because if he brings it with him everywhere he goes, it's going to raise his training volume, right? He's going to get more touches. More touches will lead to more mistakes. More mistakes leads to more learning. And a size 1 ball, since it's smaller, it's harder to manipulate. So if he spends a lot of time using a size 1 ball, dribbling and juggling, when he gets onto the field, he's gonna have a competitive advantage, right? Since all his training time's on a size 1, he steps on the field, uses a size 5. It's gonna feel so much easier to dribble and manipulate. There's also a tool. Well, here's an option. This is called a dribble up. It's called a dribble up ball. It's a little bit expensive, but a dribble up ball is like it gamifies ball skills mastery. And why ball skills mastery is important is because as his ball skills improve, it allows him to get his head up. And if you could get your head up, that means you can make better passes and take better shots on goal, right? So dribbling is something that dribbling and juggling in particular will really elevate his game, right? So that's 4 tools, and there's something else. There's something else that's called power posing, right? This woman, Amy Cuddy, she's got this TED talk where just by raising, spreading out wide, animals, when they're about to fight or they're, you see two animals fighting, they expand, right? They get wide. 2 minutes in the mirror or in the bathroom, just putting your hands up in the air and getting wide will raise his confidence, and it actually will lower your cortisol, boost your testosterone in 2 minutes of holding that pose. So this is something that, it seems silly, but I'm telling you, like, these simple things can have profound, huge payoff. I was working with a player one time, and he was very shy, and he was very reserved, and we were all by ourselves. It was me and him training. This is in Narragansett, and I told him, and I actually took this from the movie I Love You Man, and I told him I said, I want you to scream as loud as you can, and he did it, and it was like he had never heard himself roar. And I swear to God, it really helped. It really helped. It was like he was like trapped inside his own body almost. And so you kind of got to unleash the beast sometimes. And if you don't have anyone to show you how to unleash your own beast, then you almost don't know your own power. So hopefully some of these ideas help. Reach out with any questions, 508-505-1180. All right, thanks.